welcome to Simranreads, and today I'm going to be discussing about The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. I won't be giving a non-spoilery review for this book because everyone knows everything about Anne Frank, so I think I will start with the spoilers only. And so yeah, if you haven't read this book, please bye-bye, read this book and then come and then we can discuss. And if you want to know more, or if you want to know what I felt for this book, then keep on watching. Okay, let me be honest with you guys. I haven't thought I will be reading this book because honestly this book is classic and I am not a classic person. I cannot read classics. And second thing is, this book is depressing. I knew this book would be depressing. Reading everything and then knowing what happened with them, I knew it will be depressing, but then still I got curious to know more about what all happened or what all they did when they were in the hiding. And that is why I picked this book up, and I was so glad I picked this book up. And the first thing I noticed, that the English in this book was not so difficult or not so like the English which are there in classics. Actually, it was simple, it was easy to read for a person like me who cannot read classics. So it was easy for me to read. The writing of Anne Frank was so good. I mean, she was only 13 years old and she wrote beautifully. Her diary entries are beautiful. I read few pages in the beginning and there was some description given for this book, and because of that I was so curious to read more about to know more what happened, to know more how everything happened and what happened. There were many restrictions for Jews. I really don't know. I seriously have no idea about all those things which happened to them. Like, they used to wear a yellow star which says Jew, and they cannot use any vehicles or any transportation facilities. They can only walk, and they are treated so badly. And there were places which were restricted to them where no Jews can go, and there were places that only wherein only Jews can go. And it was so informative yet so sad to read. I cannot imagine that type of life, seriously. I cannot. And when they went to the hiding, and then in the hiding also, they cannot speak properly. I mean, they used to whisper whenever they want to speak, or they used to sit still for so many hours because people were working down at the basement, and they really don't want to create any mess, or they don't want to create any problems. Two families and one person were living, that is, in all 8 people were living together. And knowing that there were really bad reviews about this book on Goodreads was so hurtful, honestly. There was this review in which someone said that this book is about no one understands me or something like that, and the other one which I read was about the books or the movies on Holocaust are very fascinating, but this one was. I was seriously so hurt that Holocaust is not fascinating. Holocaust is never fascinating. You cannot imagine a life like that. Seriously, Holocaust is not fascinating. And knowing that they were so close with all the invasion and everything was happening in 1944, and in 1945, I think by the starting or mid of 1945, things were better, things were normal with every invasion and everything. They just need to stay for a few more months. They just need to stay for a few more months only, and things would be better for them, for all the 8 people living there. But so Anne Frank belonged to a rich family, and before all the hiding and all, she was very rich. She received many different gifts for her birthday, and she had many more boyfriends and everything. She was beautiful, she had boyfriends, she had a normal life, like a normal teenage kid life. But when in the hiding, she faced many problems with her mother as well. I really love that how she portrayed that adults fight for small things. No one can imagine a life in which you have to stay indoors. You cannot see outside, you cannot have fresh air, you cannot have proper food, you cannot walk around normally. You have to sit still. You cannot, I mean, you cannot do things like a normal person did. And still they were so grateful, and still they were so happy that at least they were alive, because they were getting information of how many Jews were there, sent to concentration camps. One thing I really wanted to share to anyone who wants to read this book, and if you are not a teenager, please read this book with the mindset of a teenager, because only then you will be able to relate it. I know this is diary, this wasn't supposed to be a book. Seriously, this was a personal diary, and personal diaries are always like, whenever you write in a personal diary, you mostly write the things which hurt you, or which and whenever you are angry, you write only those things, not the happy things, or not things like, you know what I mean, you get what I mean, right? And she has written many of the things when she was upset, or when someone hurts her, when when she thought that no one understands her, she wrote that because it was her personal diary, and she can only talk to her personal diary at that place where people actually she has written so many things that people actually judge her. She was made fun of by her mother and by the family, by the people with whom she was living. And seriously, it was not an easy life. That I really want to say that it was not an easy life. This book actually made me so sad. I cannot read any other book up when I finished reading this book, reading everything, reading how hopeful they were in the end with all the invasion and with all the war and fighting. And they were so hopeful and they were so upbeat that things will be normal again. But then by the end, only they got caught and they were sent to concentration camps. And it was so sad. It was really sad. I really don't know what to say because I cannot imagine their suffering, what all they suffer, what all people there suffered in concentration camps and everything. I cannot imagine that, or I cannot say anything for that. I know sad is the smallest or the tiniest word I can say. I really don't know what to say about this book. Should I say I enjoyed this reading this book, knowing that they were so happy and everything, and yet all that happened to them? Or should I say I really don't know what to say or what to put for this book? I rated this book 5 stars because I loved it, I really loved it. And I really want to say that again, please read this book with the mindset of a teenager, that when you were a teenager, your emotion levels are always elevated and you have no control on your emotions. And this book is a proof for that only. Actually, she was only 13 years old. Remember that. And when I was 13 years old, I was like, I want to go out, I want to enjoy my life, I want to do this, I want to do that. And knowing that when she was 13 years old, she was in the hiding to save her own life, it was so difficult, seriously. I really wanted to say that her writing actually improved as the entries were going on, as the story was going on, moving forward. Her writing actually improved, her character actually improved. When she started to understand everything with the age of only 15 years old, she was able to understand everything. She was not at all, like aggressive like that, like she was before in the starting. And she was able to understand, she was able to adapt everything. I think that is all for my book review. I know this is not a great book review and I am not a great book reviewer, but still I try my level best. I don't know I enjoyed it or what, but please pick it up, please pick it up. I rated this book 5 stars, and if you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, for more bookish related videos. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.